So when you moved here, knowing that this is a
Right.
wet environment, typically,
Typically.
I think it's less wet, especially when you get to the summer,
Yes.
it gets very dry.
Right.
Did you think when you moved in initially that this was a fairly safe place from fire? Or did you
Absolutely.
know coming into it that you were...
I never had an inkling that I was coming into an area that could be possibly fire prone. The Northwest has the reputation of being a very wet area, and it is much of the year. But it sure dries out in the summer here, and I never expected to encounter the periods of drought like we had in the summer. We had one of the fire professionals from one of the nearby departments tell us 2 years ago at one of our town halls that the standing Douglas fir, excuse me, in our forest was drier than kiln-dried lumber in a lumber yard at that point.
And that sounds like that got your attention.
Got our attention.
We're going to edit
Yep.
this, so don't worry about
Okay.
that. He's Air Force. You said you were Army? Yeah. Okay. You lived in a lot of places too, I gather.
Yes, I had 15 years active and finished off in the reserves, and then I had 23 years at Boeing
Okay.
here in Seattle. So I've lived in Seattle since 1980.
Did you think that this was... Did you ever think that this would be considered a wildland fire area, especially as a Boeing guy?
No, this is west of the Cascades. It's wet over here. I fought fires in 1963, 62 over in the Wenatchee area. It's a totally different area. And so I didn't expect to have that as a problem here. When I came out here, I sold my chainsaw, I sold a bunch of stuff that I didn't think I would need anymore. I moved from West Seattle. I had a three-story house over there.
All right.
And my niece couldn't handle it anymore, so we moved out here.
Got it. So my fundamental question is, you've been in Western Washington for a long time. So you fought fire? Were you a wildland firefighter for a couple of summers?
During college summers, I came out here and fought fires for a couple of summers.
But around mostly Wenatchee,
Around the
East
Wenatchee
Slope
area,
stuff.
yeah.
But you thought, like a lot of us did, that this was not fire.
No, it's not fire.
What do you think now?
It's more risky now. 20 years from now is what I worry about. All this understory that we've got that is going to be dry, we're really going to have problems 20 years from now. And we need to start doing something now to alleviate that.
And how many years ago?
Year and a half.
And this has all come back.
Yes.
So in part of that makes the point that if you're in the west side of the state, because stuff grows here like crazy,
What happened?
you're always playing catch
That's
up.
why I call it a journey. It's never ending. You go through, and a year later, you have to go through again.
Because
This one's on our schedule for
Yes.
the 13th of July to come through here. And
you're going to
clean
come
this
through
out.
here and clean this out.
We have a group of Friends of the Forest volunteers that we get 15 people or so to work a work party.
Wow.
We have safety training programs. We have quite a bit of power equipment. We have a large brush mower, and we have a Kubota tractor with a mower underneath that can handle a lot of this stuff. So we can take this entire trail in one day and clean it out.
You said you're up the road here just a bit.
Yes, I live right back up to this piece of trail.
How far up further are you?
Probably 300 yards.
Up for a hike?
Oh, I am, sure.
Okay, all right.
If you are, you bet.
All right.
Yep.
So let's just take where we are. It's a pretty long trail. I mean, just from this point, I think most places don't have a lot of trails. Do you have a plan for this area?
We don't go that far. If things are dead, we'll tend to remove them. But a lot of the area here is designated sensitive, and
Okay.
a lot of it is wetland. So we're careful to strike a good balance between protecting the environment and not removing good vegetation and helping reduce the fire risk. So never-ending struggle.
Okay.
Whitewood that is very combustible, and the belly boards around the base are all the same whitewood. So if you get an ember landing in bark chips underneath that, it's close to the house, the fire can sweep right up and get into the soffit
Also, so
in
you
the attic.
put cement
Yes,
bricks down
cement
there.
walkway all the way around.
And then, but even under the bay windows sticking
Oh,
out.
yes, I have cement bricks underneath the bay windows,
So walk me over to your vent.
okay. These are 1/8-inch vents, the foundation vents.
Right.
The NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, recommends 1/8 inch. And that's particularly true if you have an area where embers can land and float in there. I'm not as concerned about the difference between 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch as I am a lot of other things in our forests. So I don't think that's. a
You
hazard.
got some protection, but
Yes.
you're not too worried about it.
Correct.
I also don't see shake roofs.
There are no shake roofs in Trilogy. They're all grade A composition shingles, fire retardant.
Something lands on your roof,
Mhm.
you're in pretty good shape.
Correct.
Okay.
But because our houses are fairly closely spaced,
Right.
6 feet from the property line, with the hangover of the roofs can often be 3 to 4 feet apart. And if one attic gets on fire, it can spread uphill from house to house pretty quickly in the wind.
Right.